All right, good morning and welcome to Ag Talking to Raw. As you've noticed, my new hat here, I made that up. Well, actually, Teresa sewed it, but I kind of wanted to do something that was a little politically, political dig with an agricultural twist. So these will probably be going up on my website, oneonlyfarmer.com. It'll be either green, red, or even yellow tractors. I might as well say yellow tractors. So I cover all ranges, and there's no butthurt snowflakes out there that say that I'm not including them in my Tractors Matters line of beanies. Probably going to make a ball cap too. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Such is life. So anyhow, I'm going to move on to the task at hand, which is questions. But before I do that, I gotta touch on a subject that is near and dear to me. North Korea. Yes, North Korea. Why would North Korea be near and dear to me? Well, North Korea is quite close to the Philippines and Japan. Okay, Japan is where I'm going in February. I'm going to spend 5 days there. Teresa has so kindly bought those tickets for us to go to Japan for 5 days. She has friends there, and it's going to be cheap hotels because she has friends there. We just stay there and bum off of her friends, which will be pretty cool. And I'm going to enjoy some, sights and sounds and food of Japan. My whole reason for going to Japan is I want to see where they drop the atomic bomb on them. What a sadistic bastard I am. I am actually a World War II history buff, a fan. I kind of like the history of it, and hunting Hitler has quickly become my new favorite television show to watch. It just amazes me that they know that Hitler was in South America from the start of the Cold War, and they just never said anything about it, and my father's just going to have to wait because I'm not answering that. The other thing I'd like to say is thank you, Lance Edwards, or Chucky2009, for this awesome microphone. He sent this to me free of charge, freeing up my head and my headgear, so I don't have this thing in my face, and you can see my green Tractors Matter hat, or even my black OLF hat, or even this one, which I haven't worn yet because it's really hard to see, but this is the one you're going to get when you... I got to put this one up on the site too. I just haven't done it. I'm very, very busy, if you didn't know. But anyways, this North Korea thing, that guy, yesterday there was a false alarm that there was an incoming missile into Hawaii, and of course Facebook and Twitter light up on how this is Trump's fault. Nice. Gotta love that, I mean, how does Donald Trump have anything to do with some idiot hitting a button that says incoming missiles? Jamie Lee Curtis put a thing up on Twitter which just totally blew my mind. This is Trump's fault. If it wasn't for Trump pissing off the North Korean, dictator, Little Kim or Rocket Man, we wouldn't have these problems. And I'm like, Jamie Lee Curtis is a lot older than me, like 20 years older than me, or maybe 15 years. I'm 45. She's got to be closing in on 65, 70. So, how is it Donald's fault? And how is it Donald's fault that Little Kim is even there? I mean, the North Korean problem has been going on since when Donald Trump was a little boy. It's been ignored since the end of the Korean conflict. Or the Korean War. We call it Korean War, but it was a Korean conflict. I don't believe there was ever war declared on that one. Yeah, I think it was just a conflict. So there's the ceasefire, okay? So there's a ceasefire since 1955, I think, and no president has done anything to thwart the North Korean problem. So what the hell? Anyways, it's just Democratic libtard head up their ass kind of mentality, Blame it on Donald Trump that Little Kim is in power. He has done more to discourage that regime from being what they are than any other president since 1955. They have always just been, we're going to ignore them and they'll go away. Well, it's like kind of ignoring a tumor on your breast. You ignore it, it turns into cancer. And then when you ignore it long enough, it breaks through the skin. And when it breaks through the skin, you better call up the cemetery and reserve yourself a spot there because you're going to die. It's the same thing with North Korea. So anyways, enough talking about that. Now it's time to talk about questions and this question and answer session that I'm going to be into. Hopefully you can hear me okay without my face being like 2 inches away from this thing, but I really don't care if you can't because this is the last resort. I am very thrilled and proud to say that this was the microphone that Chucky 2009 had used for many years, not the Bob Barker one either. I thought that was pretty funny. Actually, I wish he would have gave me the Bob Barker one because I'd be like, hey, you're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Anyways, I've had some coffee, so just excuse the weird antics that we have here. So anyways, what happened to the drone? Oh, that's a good question. I have two drones. I wasn't happy with them, really. They're fun to fly around, and the footage is, to me, really good, but in all honesty, nobody really gives a damn about drone footage. They don't. Yeah, it's cool to go and put it in as part of your whole, video making thing. The first one, as most of you know, it crashed itself, got out of whack, and took off like at 200 miles an hour in the direction of the neighbor's barn. Before I could get it switched to come home, it had gone a long way. I mean, it was amazing how far and fast that thing went. So that one got destroyed, and I actually sent it out and had it rebuilt and spent a lot of money on it. But about $1,000 to rebuild the damn thing, and in the meantime, I bought another one. And I was using that one, and it seemed smoother and better than the first one, but I was flying it, just getting accustomed to it. Me and Timothy were playing around. He had his little high-speed drone, his Blade, I think it's Horizon Hobby Blade, and I was chasing him around with it. Of course, he could go 150 mile an hour, and mine goes like 25, 30. So it was just, I had to slow him down and try to keep track. And then all of a sudden, it lost GPS, shut the motors off, and came crashing to the ground, destroying the camera, and that was the end of that one. It sits in the lower room in my house, and I haven't really had the time or the ambition to send it out to have it repaired, which I should probably get Teresa to do. She's pretty good at boxing stuff up and sending it out, so maybe I'll get it shipped out. I'll print a label and get her to ship it out, and they can send me a new, rebuild the damn thing, and cost me another fortune. And I have to buy 2 cameras because the camera for the other one is malfunctioning. It's just, I'm not exactly happy with the way it turned out. So that's what happened to the drone. I did buy a new camera though, and you'll be seeing that in a couple of days. Hopefully it works. It should work. It'll work awesome, I think. I know it's going to work really good for what I'm going to use it for. Did I ever think about getting a New Holland bidirectional? As a matter of fact, yes, I did. And then the neighbor got one, and he loves it. It's a great loader. But it can't pull a sick whore out of an outhouse. That's how they just don't pull. And I need a machine that can pull and load and do all this stuff that I need it to do. So, yeah. What is your average day like in the wintertime? Do you haul a load of hay to the mushroom barn in the morning and then work on equipment the rest of the day? Or are other areas of operation that you have to focus on as well? A lot of the time I'm hauling a load of hay. I was supposed to go today. Today is Sunday, believe it or not. I didn't go today because I went yesterday. And usually I get home, figure out the loads, where I'm going to, load up, park it, go get something to eat, take a half an hour rest because driving a truck on I-95 is a pain in the ass. But yeah, then it's work on tractors, rebuild motors, whatever I do. As long as the hay is coming home, I'll go get loads of hay. I'll coordinate other people, which is about what I'm going to have to do now because it's 8 o'clock. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Did you ever suspect the ECU on the Speed Rower, No Rower 240 was the issue with it, since it had the power to cut hay sometimes and other times it wouldn't work at all? Well, the speed rower was a waste of my life. I mean, that year, 2014, damn near bankrupt me. Let's put it that way. It was a $150,000 machine that was worthless. It was just worthless. I mean, I think I paid $159,000 for that thing, and it was like, of course they took it back, and all was good. I wouldn't care if the pistons were hanging out the side. It was not a valuable machine to me. It was just junk. And it was really weird, too, because it was almost identical to the case, except it wasn't, and it didn't perform half as good. The case is still on the farm, still working. Yep. Luke Strawwalker. Now, this guy, he sends me lots and lots of different messages over time, and I don't know. This is just too long to read. Yeah, sorry, I can't read. I can't read a book and get it done in 25 minutes. I have a small herd of beef cows, and I'm planning on growing my small herd in. Also planning on doing my own hay. Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, if you've got a small herd, I wouldn't say get it too big that you're married to it. Because if you've got a small herd, obviously you're doing something else for money, because a small herd isn't going to cut it. But as long as it's fun for you to do, don't get so big that it becomes a stressful job, because beef price swings just like grain price, because it's connected to grain pricing. Do I have any plans for the Fordson tractor? At this point, no, I do not. Alright, do you think of buying a JCB like you drove in England with George Saunders? No, and for good reason. There's just no dealers to support them here. They're around. There is a JCB dealer in Willow Grove, right across from the Willow Grove National Air Force Base, Naval Air Force Base, and it's just that's the only one that I know of. I think there's one down in North Carolina. They're just not prevalent here. I mean, they're around, but they're just not prevalent. There's not that many of them, and I guess M&M Weavers has JCB, I think, but to me, John Deere's an American brand. It's supported on every street corner here, basically, and I can get parts like overnight without any problems. I don't have to worry about it. And I'm just really familiar with John Deere, so I'm not willing to jump brands. Okay, you are talking about Fair Oak Farms in Indiana. They are so big that they make money giving tours of their facility. Yeah, I mean, it's an impressive facility. If you like factory-style farming, then, yeah, you will be impressed and in awe of that style of farming, or milking cows and crop production and everything. And it's great, if that's what you're into. I am not. I would support the small farm having a diversified small farm, even though I'm not diversified. I can't afford to be diversified. There are things in my life that go on now that I just don't want to be tied down by animals. And to grow grain, yeah, okay, but I was talking to a fellow the other day in Illinois, and he's telling me, oh yeah, it costs me 12 cents a bushel to get my grain to market. I'm like, 12 cents a bushel? We're between 45 and 60 cents a bushel just to ship it. And then if I was to buy a dump trailer and do it myself, then it's time. I don't know. I would get it where I need it to go quicker if I did it myself, but my time is worth a lot. So I just do the hay. I mean, I'm doing mulch hay, and at some point I probably will go back into grain. Oh, what are my views on raw milk? Hey, I was a dairyman, man. I drank it right out of the tank, I had to wait till it got chilled, because if it was warm, you get that animal smell. If you ever lifted the lid on a bulk tank and stuck your face down in there, you smell, it had a funny smell to it. So I wait till it cooled off, and then I would drink the milk right out of the tank. You can't get any fresher than that. How many tractors do I have altogether, including antique ones? I have no idea. Honestly, I'd have to go count them. There's over 20, I know that. 22, 23, 24, something like that. Have I ever been pulled over on a tractor? Is that a thing? Yes, that is a thing. Can I say I was pulled over? Yes, I can honestly say I was pulled over. We run a state road here, Route 12, and when I was doing grain, we would pull these 400 bushel grain wagons back and forth from the field to the farm because, let's face it, I needed 3 of them. I only had 2, but I ended up buying 2 boxes to put on a truck on the L8000, and I was able to go to keep up that way. When corn was really heavy, though, I mean, we get close to 200 bushels to the acre. I would have needed 6 of those things to keep up because the combine could move faster than the tractors could. And, people say, oh, you need semis and dump trailers. It doesn't matter. The dryer can only feed so fast. So, but anyways, I was going down the road. My dad was going down the road, and he made a left-hand turn. And someone called the police stating that he had cut them off in the middle of Route 12, and the police showed up to the field to follow up, and they're like, yeah, they had to check to make sure the SMV sign was on the wagon. And at that time, we didn't have any tractors that went over 25 miles per hour, so it was necessary. They will pull you over with a slow-moving vehicle sign on the back of a hay wagon or any other cart if you're pulling it over 25 miles per hour. So yes, it is a thing. Anymore, but we're talking 15 or so years ago that had happened, and nothing since. I've had police escorts. They'll get behind you with flashing lights, like say at 1 in the morning. And they're not pulling you over. They'll just flash their lights behind you and then come around you and then, go. They're not trying to pull me over or anything because they can't. Legally, they can't stop me. I can farm all night as long as I'm going from farm to farm. Now, if I'm in transit, that's a different story. Here's one. Hey, Wes, I'm going to the Philippines January 27th to February 16th. I'm starting out in Manila. What are some cool places for a farmer to visit? Justin Walsh, if this is your first trip to the Philippines, you need some information on how to handle yourself. And maybe I should call... Hey, Teresa, are you dressed? Teresa, come here. Well, anyways, this is a very serious thing that you're doing.
What happened?
Okay, so you're dressed, getting ready for church. All right, so this guy, Justin Walsh, he says, hey, I'm going to the Philippines January 27th to the 16th. I'm starting out in Manila. What are some cool places for a farmer to visit? My question or Jesus Christ already, I ain't answering it. What would you suggest this man do if he's going to start out in Manila?
Stay out of Manila right away. Get out of Manila right away.
Yeah, stay out of Manila.
Yeah, go to Laguna. Laguna's close. Bulacan is not bad.
Bulacan. So pretty.
I'm running late.
She's running late. So anyways, the thing with going to the Philippines, if you're going by yourself, you could be running into problems. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend going to Manila. If you're going to go to Manila and you're dead set on it, go to, what would you say? What city to go to? And Manila's huge, by the way. It's not like Philadelphia, New York, or anything. It is. You take New York, you probably put 6 of them in Manila. It's ginormous. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Get out of Manila. Just get out of Manila. Go to Cebu. Go to Bohol. Go to Palawan. Enjoy your time there. If you've never traveled before, I'd be scared. I was scared. Believe me. I mean, I was like a dog shitting razor blades. I was scared. And yeah, you could go to the Subic Bay. There's plenty of things to do there. Get yourself you're going to need a cab to get to a bus station to go to the Subic Bay. I hope you've been there before. That's all I can say. And I hope you've traveled before, because I wouldn't recommend it being the first place to go. I did it and scared the ever-loving tar out of me. And I'm a pretty confident guy, but when you got like 40 million people looking at the white guy, and I got all this baggage and stuff, and they're all looking at you like, boy, this your first time? Give me it. That kind of thing. It's a beautiful place. You could get a bus directly from Manila and go to Banaue. I would recommend that. Go to Banaue. Stay there for 4 or 5 days, 6 days, and tour the rice terraces. You will not be sorry. But there are so many places you can go. Mount Mayon, Taal, you can go to those. They're beautiful places. Hopefully I'm helping you out, and I don't want to spend too much time on that one. It would be very nice, interesting to hear about the differences between the United States and Japan. Thanks for the videos. You are going to get videos from Japan. I am going to be doing videos there. Teresa has a friend that is actually married to a farmer. So hopefully he knows English. I know his wife has some English. Teresa knows some Japanese, so she'll be able to translate for me, and we can get some things, we can have some dialogue there. I'm interested and excited to actually see that. Did your twin brother ever make a channel on YouTube? No. He's a pain in the ass. He's a total pain in the ass. But, I mean, he won't even... Well, you've seen him, you just haven't seen him on YouTube, so you just didn't know you did. Do you have plans for trading off the case mower? No, not at this time. Wes, if you make it to Taiwan, go to Sun Moon Lake in the mountains. Beautiful place. Gerard. Yes, eventually I will end up in Taiwan. I'm trying to push Teresa to go to Taiwan for a couple of days, but, it's all about money, you got to have the money to do it. And it's expensive to travel like we're doing, and, I can say thank you to YouTube and the Patreon viewers. They're doing a good job. They're doing a really good job, being able to allow me to go. Google's been paying me for, 8 years, I think. It's been a while. What's my opinion on using synthetic motor oil in tractors versus conventional? I believe you said a while back, that you use synthetic in your John Deere windrower. Just curious, is there a noticeable difference? Yes. The thing will last pretty much forever if you change your filters and, check your oil regularly. Conventional motor oils have a tendency to sludge up and create, this stuff that's all over your engine, and then you got problems. So, yeah. What happened to the trip? Yeah, I talked about driving in my old car. Well, it's postponed because I didn't get my work done, and I'm the kind of person that if I don't get my work done, I don't go. So that's why I'm working really hard. There's a lot of places that I want to go to that I haven't been to yet because I got work to do, and work makes money, and money pays for trips like that. I worked hard and paid into Social Security for 35 years and will not feel bad about collecting disability at 225 pounds with COPD and epilepsy. I'm 56 years old and worked hard with my hands since I was 14. Not everyone collecting help is lazy. I paid into the system for 35 years. Dennis Strait, I've made this clear on every occasion. My words do not apply to you. You know this. You know that if you put in, you deserve every nickel that you get from it. You put in, you take out. 225 pounds, I am 218 pounds. That's what I weigh. I'm pretty heavy person. I'm not fat, but I'm heavy. If you're disabled, epilepsy, you can't even drive. And if you worked for 35 years and you put that money into Social Security, that is your money. It's nobody else's money. It's your money. My thoughts on the Social Security fund is that because it's your money, that money should be inherited to your heirs, your kin, your next of kin. It should continue on as it goes through. I think a Social Security fund, my sister died at 44 years old. She put into Social Security every year of her life since she was 17 years old. And what did she get out of it? She's dead. The U.S. government has pillaged that fund. They've made it their money, not your money, which is bullshit. That money should have went to my nephew and her husband. It should have been, okay, all right, so Miss Wendy Pandy Lay, she had X number of dollars in her Social Security fund, so she has a husband and a son, so we split it in half and put it into their Social Security fund. And then it should roll on like that. But you know what? Politicians, you gotta love them. Them motherfuckers will steal from you. They tell you they're giving you something as they're reaching into your other pocket. I don't trust them. That is your money, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You can see the president's speeches here on YouTube. The channel is called The White House. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that's Dennis Strait again. He's got a lot of time on his hands because he's not working. He's put in his time. 35 years is a fair amount of time to be putting in. You know, it's funny. I've been working for 35 years too. Actually, longer. I'm 45 years old. So when I was 10 years old, I mean, I've been throwing hay bales around since I was 6 or 7, you know. I mean, maybe even before that I was rolling them off the wagon. But, you know, driving tractors, I started driving tractors at 10 years old. And milking cows, I cleaned cows' tits for years and years. So I'm there with you, buddy. I'm there with you. I'm at 25 and a half minutes, so I'm going to have to get going here. But okay, here's one. Chad D is running a sprayer with GPS and section control. Really save 20% on chemical cost. Yes. Oh, so sweet and pretty. Come a little. Get over here. Mwah. Oh yeah. You drive careful, okay? Yes, I would have to say 20% savings in cost. Yes, it's expensive to set your sprayer up for that, and I would like to do that with my next sprayer because you can see the overlap. And when you overlap, you don't double your production or you don't double your weed control or, you know, vice versa. You might as well be throwing it in the ditch somewhere. It will increase a percentage if you double up, you know, on overlaps with hay fertilizer. But if you double up your chemical application, you're actually hurting the crop that you're trying to protect. So yes, I would say it's probably higher than that if you really, really, really wanted to micromanage the, you know, the inputs and the expenses of adding that extra 20% out on there or that overlap. Because when you overlap, you're actually doing 100% doubling. You're doubling your application. And when you're hurting, so you're costing yourself for that application overlap, and you're costing yourself in the reduction in yield, you know, which probably isn't a bad thing for the overall cost of grain, because if we could add 20% more grain to the market, we're just going to take a 20% cut in payout. So, wow. Hey Wes, I have a small farm, so I just want to say thank you for showing us how one big farm works. I don't know if would be considered a big farm. I mean, 3,500 acres of hay. You know, I do over 5,000 acres of cutting this year. I did 5,000 acres in all. I did some other ground. I actually have to go pay a guy today or tomorrow. We made a deal, and then I tried to pay him, and he never got back to me. Then he got back to me, and I forgot about him. So anyways, with that being said, hope you liked the new microphone. I want to say thanks, Chucky2009 again. And yeah, this hat will be on the website when I get it updated, and just coming soon. But my IT girl had some kind of a family matter that she has to deal with, and I have to call her to see what's going on and get this done. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, because I need you to subscribe. It just seems like the right thing to do.